What is up, Sideways fam? Welcome back to the channel. We got another Mark IV in the shop. A lot of stuff going to be going on. It's going to be really cool build for you guys because guess what? Underneath the hood, obviously you can see, NA. So this customer actually chose to do it a little bit different than the majority of our customers. Most of them want to do like a 1.5 or they want to do a GTE or a GTE conversion or whatever. He said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep the stock engine. My engine runs really good and I really want to try the NAT thing. So what we have is a setup that we came up with. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll run you through it real quick because we do have it over here. We're going to go ahead and get this engine, everything torn out of this car today, and we're going to get it on a stand. We need to do a GTE oil pump conversion. We need to go ahead and start getting everything ready for our cam sensor and our crank trigger sensor conversion. And then we're going to have to obviously upgrade coil packs because as we can see in this too, it's got a distributor and distributor wires. It does work like that. I don't like to run myself like that. So we're going to do a pretty cool conversion that I'll run you through. Let me show you over here. We have an engine we kind of mocked everything up on so we can kind of show you guys what we're going to be doing and get strike the interest for everybody to want to watch this video. So here's our mock-up 2JZ GE non-VVTi. You can see it's non-VVTi. So we've already gone ahead and gotten our coil pack conversion, and these are going to be one NZ and one ZZ coil packs. We've gone ahead and got our distributor block off from Drift Motion. There are more than one way of doing this that we thought about, but this is going to be the cheapest option when you're still going to retain your distributor for your trigger wheel for your cam sensor. You do not have a crank trigger sensor in here, so that's why we're going to be putting a GTE, or you could use a 2JZ GE oil pump. In our case, we want to have better oil pressure than GE, so we're going to go ahead and put the bigger gear in it, bigger pump in there. We'll put a crank trigger sensor in and a trigger wheel from Powerhouse Racing because obviously buying OEM sucks. It's almost as expensive as buying aftermarket, so we're going to go ahead and get a billet one. Go ahead and put that in there. Yeah, guys, then we're going to go ahead and run our excess manifold. This is one of my custom comp turbos that we have with the Garrett wheel in it. That they built me. That's just from one of my cars and stuff, but we kind of mocked it all up. Wastegate will go down, up and in, no problem. It's gonna just bolt together and look great. So, I mean, we'll be able to run our intake pipe. It is gonna be kind of close, but it's gonna clear fine. The other way to do this as well would be you block this off, put a cap in the head or freeze plug or whatever you wanted to do. And then what you'd have to do is do this crazy where you drill the head right here, weld in a cam sensor port, do your measurement, a bunch of crazy stuff that just is kind of pointless for money and having it be like the ease of turboing the car for your SC300 or Mark IV Supra NA. I mean, this is going to be your cheapest option to go. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to the Supra. We're going to kind of go over everything while we're doing it. I'll run you through the whole NAT setup, and this thing's going to crank out some jam. We're also deleting the intake manifold. We went ahead and got him a King's Royal full billet, intake manifold like we normally use. We got them instead of 1200cc or 1000cc injectors from FMS. Yeah, we're tuning on AEM Infinity. I'm going to be finishing up building him his custom harness probably today or tomorrow. And then we'll go ahead and get that in the car and on the car. Maybe I'll have to finish it today, actually. But that is neither here or there right now. So let's go ahead and get the engine out of the car, get it on a stand, see what I can get done. The plan today is if we can, which is going to be a push for it, if we can get this out, we can get it on a stand and we can get it going. I'm hoping that today we can get the pan resealed. I can bung the pan. I can get the conversion done. I can get it maybe even back in the car today. Caden will be working a few hours after me after I leave. Maybe he can get the fuel system stuff done. We're not going to do a super crazy setup with this for fuel system. We're going to basically do a hardline conversion to 6AN, back of the rail. We're going to convert all the lines underneath the car because they're probably old as shit. We're going to go ahead and put riveted hose in there, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the standard stock pump, which I don't have no idea what CC the pump is. We're going to go ahead and put like a Walbro 450 in the tank, so we can go ahead and do E85. Wire up a relay from my harness, and we should be done. We're about to do the trunk because we want to have short voltage for voltage drop for the battery to the fuel pump. It should go pretty smooth. We're gonna have to pull it out, pressure wash the engine bay, a couple little small things, but I mean, it's gonna be really cool. I'm super stoked about this. We did a car a few years ago back that we weren't recording on YouTube that I wish we would have done because the car actually did amazing. These engines do have the thick rods, so you don't have to do anything to it. It is a lot of work to make it look nice, but hey, let's just see what it does. Bang for your buck, let's get it. It's crazy how OEM this thing is, and you can definitely tell it's a Japanese car with all the rust, A lot of the right hands we've been getting lately have been all like this, where everything looks like this. But what's really cool about it is everything is super clean. like ridiculously clean under the car. The only thing I will say once again is like fuel filter, yeah, that's pretty bad. Drive shaft's a little rusty. The exhaust is just horrible. I mean, he bought an HKS, so who cares? The differential casing's all nasty too. I mean, it's that salt water, you know, from those docks in Japan that they sit on and everything. So all this stuff just needs to go in the trash. It's crazy how the muffler kind of survived, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and look at the like Bondo rust falling off the muffler.
Looks like you had an exhaust leak, Olsen.
Oh, yeah. Dang old hole right there. Yep. All right, so we are all the way disconnected. Harness is out. All the grounds, everything's been disconnected. We're gonna slide the AC off, and that's pretty much it, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get this out and get it on the stand right now. Well, we are out. So time to get all this stuff all sprayed down and cleaned, and get this thing on a stand so we can do the conversion.
I'm missing one?
Nice and super OEM. No, it's just stuck because it's all rusty and old. Get the pry bar or screwdriver. There you go. You got it. Right here in the dowel. Jiggle. There you go. OEM is fuck, bro.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still...
Ain't good.
That ain't gonna work. Well, here's the mess of stuff that we're going through right now. Got everything off on this thing already. Harness is off and everything. I can start hacking up the connector and depinning it. Intake manifold's off, so we'll start getting the Kings set up on that finished. We got to tear everything in the front down all the way again. Kind of weird I had a Mitsubishi belt. You think I have a Toyota one, but we need to pull this little cover for the OEM spark plug wires out for the galley so we can get his new coil packs fitted. And yeah, we're moving along pretty good. So we got the engine on the stand. I've already gone ahead and put the oil filter adapter for all of our sensors and pressure sensors and feed line and everything on there to adapt for his NAT and for the Infinity. We're pulling the engine apart right now. It looks really, really clean. Engine looks super, super healthy. No metal on the pickup at all. Pan super, super clean. The oil was super clean. Looks like a really nicely maintained engine. So this should be super awesome. We're gonna go ahead and get this off right now. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the parts washer, clean everything up. Super clean everything, get it all resealed, and we'll go ahead and put it back together. Alrighty, well, we got a lot of stuff to clean, but Caden's getting the front of the engine pulled apart so we can do the oil pump right now. There's the inside of the engine. She looks really, really, really good. Yeah, I think we're gonna have nothing but success with this thing. So we gotta get all this stuff cleaned up and prepped so I can go ahead and start welding on the 10AN bung that I have right here. I gotta weld this on the pan to do a GTE conversion. We have our FX400 Clutch Masters clutch here with a new bearing, and our Powerhouse Racing billet 2JZ GTE non-VVTi Mark IV Supra trigger wheel, a OEM Toyota trigger sensor, and then we got our OEM Toyota modified oil pump right here that we're gonna go ahead and be installing as well. So let's go ahead and get everything out, and I'm gonna put a new seal on this pump right now, and then we can go ahead and get it all glued on and bolted on, and then get the pan back on. All right, so real quick, you can see the front of the crank exposed. So everything's off the front for the oil pump and the collar and the belt and all the other good stuff that's all over here on the floor. So let me go ahead and explain this to you real quick so everybody can kind of understand. For all you NAT guys, I want to definitely educate you guys so you guys can kind of know what's going on. So this is the NA pump. They look the exact same. Say Toyota, say Aisin. It does have the same tensioner, but if you do see something, there's nothing here. Also on the collar that runs the timing belt, there's no trigger wheel. So if you line these two up, you'll see there's a trigger wheel on this one. There isn't one on this one. Well, that's just how it is. Then on the GTE one, you also have your crank trigger sensor that peeks out right here and gets the magnetic signal from there to know when the engine's supposed to fire. So we're doing this because we want to have a cam and crank signal split. I don't want to run the distributor and have both cam and crank on one sensor that could fail or whatever, when crank is actually way more important than cam when ECU's seeing stuff like that. So, I mean, this has been replaced. The seal has been replaced. By all means, you can do it like this if you're gonna run like an AEM V2. You wouldn't even have to do this. You would just be dropping the pan like we're doing right there. going ahead and just bunging the pan or converting to a GTE pan and being done, or just buying one of these and TIG welding it on, however you want to do it. But that's what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and I've already put an OEM to the seal. That's not OEM, that is OEM. We're going to go ahead and glue it all on, and we'll go ahead and put the new collar on, get the belt all back on, get it all nice and timed up again after we get the pan back on, and she'll be ready to go back in the car. So let's get it done. So we're going to be installing the FX400 clutch. This is the dual friction disc. If you haven't seen it before, it's a super nice street clutch that will perform basically like a full race clutch. It's really nice to drive. This is the FX400 clutch pressure plate we're going to be installing right now. And good thing we changed his release bearing, and he actually bought a full clutch kit, because the one that he had was like destroyed. So that's supposed to sound like that. So anyways, gonna go ahead and get all that on, get the trans on, get it back in the car. Already went ahead and got the bung welded on there, got the distributor top pulled off, and the front, I'm gonna redo timing in the car and put the whole front of the engine together in the car just for time, because I'm gonna be leaving here in the next few minutes, and that way Katie can get the turbo stuff done and the intake manifold stuff done, and just everything kind of all plumbed up. So let's go ahead and get it in the car. Trans reinstalled, just going in. Alrighty, well, we got her back in the car. We're gonna do like valve covers, intake manifold, other stuff we got. I'm gonna go ahead and run you through all the parts that we got. So we have our FMS 1000cc injectors. We have our fuel kit right here with the -6A and braided black fuel line. We have our custom oil feed line that we got. We got all of our sensors for the AEM Infinity. We have our excess manifold, our King's intake manifold in black. We're gonna do everything in a super nice, like gloss black, satin black look for everything in the bay, just as nice and simple and clean. And hopefully we'll be able to get this stuff done and get it all together soon. We still need to put the TurboSmart Hypergate 45 on the manifold and cut and weld that into the V-band, and a whole bunch of little knick-knack stuff. He's got his brand new comp turbo right here in the box. I'm sure Caden will go ahead and go through and show you guys when he opens it, so we can paint it. We got our custom downpipe that we've already fabbed up ready for him as well, with a 3-inch V-band, you know, yada yada yada. So we'll see what Caden can get done today while I'm gone. I don't know how much he will actually be able to get done without me being here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the wiring harness tonight, and tomorrow morning we'll maybe I even bring it over to Caden in a little bit to see if I can finish it up in a few hours. And yeah.
Okay, I got the turbo manifold on and the wastegate. So what I'm gonna do now is pop these crusty valve covers off, and I'm gonna start opening the turbo and take the front housing off and go paint those, and then I'll put them back on. Before I start painting and doing all that other stuff, I just wanna show how clean every one of these non-VTI 2Js are. Every time we open them up, they're just gorgeous inside. So, Nick, you got a good one.
I already went ahead last night and finished up my wiring harness right here. So we'll be going ahead and installing that today, and should be very close to being able to basically, I guess, start this thing today if we can get everything done. I think we're gonna just work late today and knock it all out. So I've already put the belt on this morning, got it all tensioned up and everything locked in. You can see the comps already installed with the excess manifold, and the Hypergate's already done too. So we need to finish the heater line, putting that back in so we can hook it up to his heater. We need to finish getting the wiring situated, and we need to go ahead and start plugging in all that intake manifold and fuel line stuff right now. So let's go ahead and get the front all back together so it looks like an engine. We can get the radiator back in, the clutch fan back on, and then we can start intake manifold piping, stuff like that. So we got some progress. Caps already on, harness is pretty much completely ran. We're gonna go ahead and start getting the intake manifold on, getting all the injectors, the fuel rail, all the other stuff plugged in. We're still finishing up painting up the valve covers, the turbo housing, to match the intake manifold. Since it is black, we wanna do a nice, like, kind of almost like gloss or satin black for the bay in this thing. I'm gonna try to see if I can get him to get the Powerhouse Racing satin black or gloss black cooling panel that's right here, and then, but since this doesn't usually fit with the intercooler, it'd be nice to just delete this, because this is going to look really ugly right here, and we can put the Powerhouse Racing coolant overflow tank right there. I'll test fit all that stuff later just so the customer can see in the video, obviously, but let's get the radiator in after I go ahead and get the serpentine belt on, and then at least the front of the engine will look pretty together. So a little update of what's going on now. We've gone ahead and painted the valve covers, painted the turbo, got the black intake manifold. You can kind of see what it's all going to look like. We're going to go ahead and modify the top cover right here and see if we can get it to kind of fit with maybe the coil pack facing backwards like this. Shifter and everything's all back in, and drive line's all back in, and it's looking really, really good. So I still need to modify the fuse box just so I can kind of show the customer as well right here. So you can see right here, we're no longer going to be running this. I'm going to run a wire up in behind the fuse box and up into the terminal that's in the fuse box here. So we'll be removing the stud and this whole area right here. We'll have to cut a section out right here, just like a little square basically right here, and the throttle body will basically fit right in between where the TPS is to be able to plug in here, and then we're done. So not crazy for modification. I'm gonna see if we can kind of maybe lift the fuse box up, make a little bit more room so there's less cutting, do the best we can on that. But if anybody wants to know, this is the 1ZZ and 1NZ coil pack. I don't know if I said that already earlier in the video. They're real coil packs where you're not going to have an igniter. They have a built-in igniter in them, so it's easier to diagnose what's going on with your ignition system. Alrighty guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to keep working on this thing and getting everything done. Next video, we should be doing fuel pump. We should be doing downpipe, some other sensors, startup. I don't really know. A few other things like that. We should be getting started up next video. So until next time, guys, if you have any questions, any things you want to know about, anything you guys want to order, you have any problems with, you have any things you want us to tackle or project cars you want us to go ahead and go ahead and hit us up through Instagram. We do respond to the YouTube channel when we can. Till next time, guys, peace.